Welcome to Don't Crop Me Now. This is Rachel and Anthony. Today we are going to give you a tour of our growing space. Since doing the original tour when we first set up the website, there's been quite a lot of change. So we will look at the space that we have available for growing at our allotment. If we start with plot 4, plot 4 was the first full plot that we took on at Granville Park allotments. All of the full plots are a similar size, about 250 square metres, which is about the same size as a doubled tennis court. At the front there is a flower border on all the plots. Plot 4 has a series of raised beds. Just behind the flower border there is a number of smaller raised beds that are 3 by 6 foot in size. We originally put these in for the purpose of being used as some tester beds, so we can try varieties to see if we like them to then grow them on a bigger scale. This year we're going to use some of these smaller beds to grow a giant's cabbage and a few other crops. On this bed on the left we are going to put another composting area in, so this has not been mulched. The main part of the growing space on plot 4 is made of these 10 by 4 foot raised beds. The first one has an extra raised section which is used as a permanent carrot bed. The rest are just low level raised beds. We grow by a no-dig system and these beds have just been mulched with some well composted material. The middle section of plot 4 is beds of more different types of sizes. This was just because when we did this middle section, we just put beds in where we felt we had the space. There's some smaller beds here that have got asparagus in, and I've recently just put a few more crowns in to increase our asparagus crop. There's a long bed that contains dahlias. I tend to keep the dahlias in over winter and just mulch the ground, so we've given them a covering of some hemp bedding here. We try to grow quite a few flowers on the allotment, and here we have a lavender border. When we first took on plot 4, in between all the brambles and bindweed there was actually a small row of fruit trees in this section. We decided to remove these except from this one Bramley apple tree. I just didn't have the heart to remove it because it was so productive. It's not the best shape, but it gives us a good few 100 kilos of cooking apples every year. On plot 4 we do have a small pond which is in need of some plants. And in the theme of keeping quite a few flowers around, we've got a nice little rock garden here. The top area of plot 4 has a few other raised beds, but then is also more of our social space. So we have a barbecue and picnic bench, a pergola that has climbing plants on and some seating underneath, and at the back where we are allowed to build structures on our plot we have the summerhouse, which is for sitting and relaxing really, and a smaller storage shed. We do try to collect as much water as we can off all the structures, so coming off the small storage shed we collect into this IBC and also some blue barrels, and just behind the summerhouse there is actually another IBC to collect to. Here we have a system for producing liquid fertilizers. If we have a look around the side of the summerhouse you will see the next IBC which collects water. And here is the seating area. So now if we move to look at plot 5B. This is the newest of the plots that we have taken on at the allotment, and it is in its second season with us. At the top there is a greenhouse. It is a very hot spot, so it's mainly used for chilies. At the top end of the plot there are a couple of fruit trees and these cold frames which are still under construction. The two fruit trees are a conference tree and a tree that was a cooking apple, to which we are now grafting on a number of different eating apples. We also have a few more water butts, as we are trying to be as self-sufficient as we can with collecting our own water. Similar to the raised beds that are on plot 4, we have put raised beds in on plot 5B. They are not quite the same size. They are 10 foot by about 4.5 foot here. This half plot is about 125 square metres in size. We have recently decided that we need to increase our composting. So there is a further 2 bays in construction here at the end of plot 5B. Now plot 2B. We've had this plot for 5 or 6 years and it has been predominantly growing fruit. However, when we decided that we were going to give up plot 1B, we thought we would invest in the layout of plot 2B. I've always wanted a polytunnel, so now this has come true. So at the back of plot 2B, we have got a polytunnel. Eventually, we will use this to grow grapevines and an apricot tree and things that may be a little bit different. At the moment, we're using it as a greenhouse to really start off plants, and then we will plant heat-loving plants throughout the summer. This was put up in November last year, so it's pretty new and still needs tidying up a little. The rest of 2B is in 2 other sections. Firstly, the orchard section, which has a number of fruit trees, including an established fig tree and then a smaller fig tree in a pot, a couple of apples, a pear tree and a cherry tree. Quite recently, we have put up this fruit cage which still needs the netting attaching. Within this, we have lots of blueberry bushes and also gooseberries, blackcurrants and red currants. And at the end of plot 2B, we have our main composting system, which is a 3-bay system. The layout of 2B has completely changed since November, where a lot of the trees have been removed or moved and all the bushes have been changed too. We have also put the polytunnel up. Overall, I'm really pleased with the layout of 2B. I think it will serve us well over the coming years. Take care everyone. Bye.